Hi there. It's January the 31st, and in our readings today in the Torah, in the book of Exodus, we've reached chapters 12 and 13. These chapters, first of all, focus on the unleavened bread. The unleavened bread is bread made without yeast, rather like this. This is a piece of Matzah, a piece of Jewish unleavened bread that is used in the Passover to remember the fact that they had to leave Egypt in such a hurry that Israel didn't have time to let the bread rise. So it's a sign of God's speedy deliverance, of God's decisive redemption, which is why for 7 days God said, don't eat any yeast. Jewish people actually don't eat anything made with yeast, like beer. They don't have any yeast in the house, and they make sure that at Passover all yeast is taken out of the house because it's a command that there shouldn't be yeast. Also, in these chapters, we read about the dedication of the firstborn of animals and people. And in fact, the firstborn was very important to God because, of course, it was the firstborn of Egypt that was destroyed, the firstborn of Egypt that was judged, and the firstborn of Israel was spared judgment. And so God commanded that every firstborn of animal and male of the human race should be dedicated to the Lord. And redeemed, that is, an amount of money or a sacrifice should be made instead of the firstborn. Of course, this is the kind of bread as well. The unleavened bread is the kind of bread that Jesus used because the meal that he was celebrating with his disciples on the night before he died was Passover, was Pesach. And so Jesus takes that bread and he lets it speak of a deliverance which is, while like the deliverance of Israel from Egypt, from the power of Pharaoh, is deliverance from an even greater oppressor, from death itself, as Jesus goes through the cross. So we understand the bread and the wine that come to us in communion, in the breaking of bread that we have, as looking back to that time that we read of in Exodus 12 and 13. Have a good January the 31st.